Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.
A long way from home, I sure did roam. I'm now in a race to get back to that place. With my 4 feet, I will not be beat. I'll be out of sight and home before night.
Sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me neither. But this is the story of my cats, my dogs, and me. A new story, a new game on Kickstarter by Tayrn. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Correct.
Okay, and we're lucky enough to have on Tayrn on Getting Geeky with Game Relief tonight with us. We really appreciate you joining us tonight on Getting Geeky with Game Relief, Tayrn.
I'm happy to be here.
Cool beans. Now let's rewind a little bit, if we could. How did you get into tabletop board gaming?
Honestly, it started, I was actually writing some stories. I wrote a script for a friend of mine named Jason Starne, and it was for a kid's animated movie, and he really liked it, and so I had some other stories I wrote years ago for my daughter when she was younger, and they were like designed for like board books for a kid that was younger, and I gave them to him to see what his opinion was, and he really liked them, and suggested I try and make a board game out of it, and it was something I hadn't really thought of before. Years ago, I had thought about possibly, trying to do some games and stuff like that. My dad was huge into backgammon, and we'd play that for hours. And I have some friends, neighbors, and stuff that they're really into the role-playing tabletop games. And I started to get into coming up with an idea for this concept, and I just got on different sites and looked at what people had out there, and one day it just kind of dawned on me a good idea for the game. Something I know a lot of people have been doing a lot of more kind of like adult type games or the party games lately, which have become real popular, and I want to do something more family oriented, something that my daughter could really enjoy.
Cool beans. So you haven't played very many? Have you played a lot of tabletop board games, or?
Not a whole lot, no. Mostly, like the games, Monopoly, Life. I played some of the strategy games, but like backgammon, that was the big one with my dad. I'd play that for hours with him and with my brother. But I haven't gotten into a whole bunch of the role-playing games. I was a big gamer when it comes to video games, doing the role-playing games there, but after I've gotten into the games, seeing what people have created, I'm going to start looking into that and playing more of those, because it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just going crazy, I think. My wife kind of got into it a couple years back ago, getting all these games on Kickstarter and stuff. Before, I thought just they had Monopoly and other things like you said, and then kind of fell in love with it a couple years back. So yeah, that's awesome. So the word on the street is you have a new game out there on Kickstarter. What can you tell us about it, Tayrn?
Yeah, it's the object of the game is each person that plays is a 2 to 4 player game, and you start out with a cat and a dog, and the object is to get both your cat and your dog home first, and the one that does wins. And then along the way, there are different obstacles, like you have to cross roads, you have to look out for streams and stuff. If you land on a stream, it'll take you back a few spaces. You do start out with some cards, like some hold'em cards at the beginning. You can only have a maximum of 3 of the cards, and they can help you out. You can use them along the way to sabotage your player. You can have a dog whistle, and they can be played at any time during the gameplay. You can play the card, and if it's like a dog whistle card, the person that you give it to, they have to roll a die, and at whatever they roll, they have to go back that many spaces. You have if you have a certain card, like a strong swimmer card, if you happen to land on the stream, you don't have to go back. You can stay where you are. Other than that, there's some other spaces you can land on that you'll have to pick from the card or the cat deck, and sometimes it can help you out, sometimes it can hinder your progression. So it just depends. Like if you get in a dog fight or a cat fight, There'll be a spinner on the board, and you spin to see if it's green, you win. If it's red, you lose. Then you have to roll the dice, see how many spaces. If you win, how many spaces you go forward. If you lose, how many spaces you're gonna have to go back. And you definitely have to have both your cat and your dog home to win. So it's happened to me before. I got a cat or my dog home before my daughter thinking I was going to win, and she beat me before I could get the other one back.
Cool. That sounds pretty cool. Cool concept. So I imagine that you've done a lot of play testing and whatnot. Was there ever anything that just wouldn't work that you guys had to scrap?
Yeah, when I first started out, I didn't really scrap it, but I had way too much of the cards that I had where nothing would help you out. It was all just kept putting you back spaces, and my daughter was one of them that mentioned, so is there anything that's going to help me? And I started to think about it, I'm like, that would be a better idea to add some more helpful things in there, stuff to hinder the other player. And, like there are different things. You can throw a ball for someone, that distracts their play for their dog, and they'll lose a turn. You may end up putting the pound, or if you're a cat, you end up up a tree, and you have to roll the die to get out. If you get even, you can get out, but if you're odd, you have to stay there and wait till your next turn. So I added some things that helped out with the gameplay and made it more entertaining, because you could play a card against someone to stop them from progressing, and I didn't have everything is just hindering you. So I'd say that was the biggest thing that I changed in it.
Cool. So what's the thing you're most proud about in My Cats, My Dogs, and Me?
Just the gameplay itself. It came together really well, and being fortunate enough to have someone like Jason Starne to help me out, and then the artist that's working on the art, Jerald Lewis. He's an amazing artist, so I'm happy to have those two helping me through the process. And honestly, I was surprised when we first played it. It was fun, even though we were using I think we were using coins as the characters and stuff as we were playing the first time. But it was surprisingly, we played it I think like 6 or 8 times back to back, and finally I had to just cut her off. She wanted to keep playing, but it was already like 1 o'clock in the morning, so it was time for bed.
Cool. So going back to, you said you used coins at first. So if somebody were to back this on Kickstarter, what will the characters end up being that they'll get? Will they get cat and dogs, or what will they get?
Yeah, they'll be getting cat and dogs. We're gonna do the molds. It'll be plastic molds for the cats and the dogs.
Will they be minis, or will they be like sorry pieces, or how will they look, do you think?
Yeah, they'll be minis, like minis.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, not just I want them to have character,
Cool beans. That's cool.
One of the things on Kickstarter too is we have one of the versions where it's a wild pack, and those cats you get a lion, a tiger, a panther, and a cheetah. And then the dogs you have an African spotted wild dog, you have a wolf, a coyote, and a dingo.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I see that. That's pretty cool. The wild pack. That's pretty cool. And so, how much did your daughter put into the game? I know you just that idea, or did she help you out with the whole process, do you think?
She's been helping me through the entire thing.
Cool.
I presented the concept to her, and then she helped me create the board itself. And throughout the gameplay, I tested it with some other people. Actually, I went to, testing it can cost some money, so I actually went to some restaurants and went up to random people and see if they sit down and play a quick game with me.
How'd that go over?
Everyone seemed to really like it. I had one couple that tried to buy just the prototype that you see on the site there that my daughter and I did. Try to buy it for $100 because his kids enjoyed it so much. So that made me feel good. Like I was definitely going down the right path.
Well, there you go. Did you tell them about the wild pack?
Yes, I did. I told them that I'm going to be launching on Kickstarter, and gave them my Facebook site so they can see some of the artwork and everything.
Cool beans. So per se, somebody's falling asleep listening to the podcast. It wouldn't be because of you. It'd be because I tend to release a lot of podcasts, and so they get tired of my voice after a while. But per se, they're suddenly jolted awake, so they don't hit that oncoming traffic and whatnot. Why should they take a chance on my cats, my dogs, and me? Especially with all the other great games they have out there on Kickstarter currently.
Well, I'd say if it's a family game, so if you're really looking for a family game that's unique and is just highly addictive, yeah, I say go for it. I have, like I said, I have an amazing artist, and I have people that are professionals in their fields that are definitely gonna be able to help me make it come to life.
Cool. So what professionals are helping you, or what part of the field, or who's all helping you with the game?
Jason Starne, he's one of the guys that is helping me. He knows manufacturers and such, so he's getting me in front of the right people for the miniatures. And Jerald, he's a professional artist. Anyone can look him up, Jerald Lewis. His Instagram, he has some great artwork on there. He has some of the stuff for my cats, my dogs, and me on there. And then I have a friend, he does shipping. He's the one that actually told me not to try and do international right now. He said just keep it small to the United States so I don't get killed on shipping. And other than that, it's just I know a lot of businessmen that have done production work on movies and such before, so they have a lot of connections.
Well, there you go. Cool. That's pretty cool. So let's say, and do you have any books published? I know you talked about writing stories and stuff before and whatnot.
I would. I want to get my stories I wrote for my daughter that actually are what gave the idea for the game. I want to get those published. I don't have any published right now, but they were intended for a younger audience. Like I said, she was 2 or 3 when I wrote those, and she's 10 years old now. So I was intending them for kids up to about 5 or so. So they're kind of like board books, little alphabet books. I'm going to work on that, but I do have my writing actually started out with before I met Jason. I had an idea for a Viking type of adult movie, and I wrote a script for that he really liked, and so he asked me to write a script for an animated movie he wanted to do, and so I wrote that, and that's actually in production right now.
Oh, cool. What does it have a working name or anything?
Yeah, it's Chubby Cubbies, The Lost Treasure.
Cool beans. And you said that's in production right now?
Yeah, we've done some voiceovers. We're going to be in the studio next Saturday to finish up the voiceovers. Then we'll go on to the next step from there.
Cool. And will that be releasing to like the movie theaters, or will it be a Kickstarter, or like an independent thing on Netflix? Or
independent, we're looking to try and get it into, maybe have it on like an Amazon or Redbox or something like that.
That'd be pretty cool. Cool beans. So what's the concept of that story of the you said Chubby Cubbies?
Yeah, Chubby Cubbies. It's it's a couple of they're cubs, and there are 3 of them, and they also have a friend that's a gopher, and they find this map, and on the map there's a treasure, and the treasure ends up being honey that these badgers have been trying to get for years, and it was hidden from them. And the kids, the little cubs, they find the honey fields, that's the golden nectar that they discover, and it's all about them and getting the honey and kind of what they're doing to the bee colonies by taking all their honey, and they feel bad, and they're trying to stop the badgers from finding where the fields are, and ends up being a little battle in the end.
Cool, beans. That sounds really cool. So let's see here, and I don't know if you've listened to any of the podcasts or whatnot, but the next section of our show is actually called Adventures in Application Acquisition, where we talk about an application, whether it be cell phone or tablet or even a video game or computer, that you use a lot of. Is there any applications that you use a lot of? It doesn't even have to be related to dogs or cats or board games.
Oh, I do. a big gamer, video game person, and I do Xbox, PlayStation.
Do you have a favorite video game we can talk about for a moment?
Oh man, I like a lot of the RPGs, and I like first-person shooters. Skyrim, love that one.
Cool. My wife actually, I've never played it, but I think my wife got me the soundtrack because I'm big into running and whatnot, and it seems like it's pretty good music or whatnot. What can you tell us about Skyrim, me and other people who maybe haven't played it?
If you're in the wizards and even just being a warrior, it's a great game. It's fun. It's addictive because it's one of those where you have to build your character, and I love it. And it's kind of one of the ones that's kept me away from trying other games like it because I know how addictive those types of games can be, like Warhammer and such. I've been tempted to try and play them, but I know eat away a lot of my hours right now. But yeah, I enjoy those games where you get to start with a character, you build it up, and you can adjust if you get like someone that's good with magic. You can even play with what type of magic that you want them to do. So that's my favorite part about it.
Cool. So if you own the rights to Skyrim, what would be one thing you would do to make it a better video game?
Wow, that's a good question. I'd probably add some more characters in there, make it a little more diverse as to who you could be. I would get it to where you could have I like games where you have a pet or something with you. You know, I like that in Far Cry Primal, where you're allowed to get wild animals there like bears and saber-toothed tigers to be with you. I've always enjoyed that, so I'd make that more of a constant throughout the game.
Cool beans. That sounds good. So, yeah, we hope to make a green podcast. So, if the creators of Skyrim are listening, that's something that Tayrn says you can do a better job, that you could possibly add to it to make it a little bit more exciting. So, yeah, hopefully they'll hear that, and maybe someday they'll have that for you, Tayrn, we would hope.
I'd appreciate that. That'd be awesome.
There you go, cool beans. Now, let's see here. Now, minus coming there to your hometown to stalk you and your daughter, Tayrn, how would people go about finding out about you or your game, My Cats, My Dogs, and Me?
Yeah, that's one of the things I've never been much of a social media person, so this has really opened me up since I've started on the game. So, I am on Facebook. I have My Cats, My Dogs, and Me, at My Cats, My Dogs, and Me page on Facebook. I also have Instagram now. And from there, anyone can hit me up. I'm always open to hearing opinions. I've already had people that give me some negative emails and stuff on My Cats, My Dogs, and Me because they felt like I should have something in that's more of a finished product for them to see. And I understand that was one of my cautions about doing it so early in the game, but I have everything lined up and ready to go. It's just I just need the money to pay the artists and get it going.
Cool. Yeah, you'll get that a lot. How have you dealt with the negative feedback?
I accept it. It can't, as long as they're not being mean as such. I just I look at what they're saying and I try and pick up some of the positives out of it and keep going forward. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's my main income right now. I'm an instructor, so I don't tap out easy.
Well, there you go. Cool.
Doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
That's good. There you go. And they better watch out then. They better not be mean to you. You'll come and find them, I guess.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'm really enjoying the journey so far.
Cool. So, will you be on any other podcasts, do you know, or anything like that?
Not that I know of yet. I'm always looking. Like I said, I'm kind of new to the social media, especially the social media marketing side of things. So, as I'm trying to get this game out there, I'm trying to learn more. And I'm really happy to be here with you, talking with you today. It's really helpful.
Cool, yeah, and we'll go ahead and make sure we leave the links and everything in the show notes or whatnot, so people don't have to. So now that they're awake, they don't have to go ahead and type it in while they're driving. They can just click the link or whatever after they pull over and back it on Kickstarter. We'll make sure we leave that all in there. And let's see, yeah, this looks like a really fun game. I really like the concept, and that's awesome that you were able to work on that with your daughter and whatnot. So yeah, that's really cool. And it looks like you've been going for like, I want to say a little bit less than a week. Is that right? And you're about 10% the way funded?
Correct. Yeah, we started last Tuesday.
Cool beans, yeah. And so, yeah, so right now it's about $1,000 out of $10,000. Well, $1,010. So, that $10 can help it. So that's great.
Yeah, anything helps. I appreciate every donation I can get.
There you go. Yeah, I really like the idea of, yeah, it'd be really cool to see the minis and whatnot when you get them, when all the art's done and whatnot. I really like the wild pack. That sounds really exciting.
Yeah, I'm going to have, within a day or two, I'm going to have a lot more of the artwork on the page from Jerald. He's working throughout the campaign to get all the artwork for the board game done so I can get the actual product from the company I'm working with.
Cool, yeah, that'd be awesome to make sure you get those updates on there as you get the art and whatnot. Well, do you think you'll be doing any live? I know they have a new thing. Well, maybe it's not new anymore, but to me it's new. But where you can do the live Kickstarters, where you'll do like a live playthrough or show people the game and whatnot. I know it's not the finished artwork and everything, but do you think you might do any of that?
Yeah, I was looking at that the other day, and I think that's great. I definitely plan on doing a video.
Cool beans. Will you do a live one or just a playthrough on the page, or how do you think you might go about that?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought about it. I thought it was live. I didn't know you could do a playthrough and add it on. I was thinking about going live with it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Depending on when this is loaded and whatnot, do you have a tentative date or whatnot so we can make sure we put that on there?
I want to make sure I have a little more of Jerald's artwork up before that, so it would probably be a week from this Tuesday.
Okay, cool. So yeah, look out for that. So let's see here. So if you're listening, hopefully it'll go up. Maybe they'll have a live playthrough on the 12th. I want to say Tuesday the 12th of December.
Yep. So it'll be midway through our campaign.
Cool beans. And do you know approximately what time so people can look out for that?
On Tuesday, for me, the best time is going to be around 3.
3, and what time zone are you in so people can follow you?
I'm in Central.
Okay, so 3 p.m. Central Time. Cool beans. And if you're worried about not being able to remember that, I know I have a bad memory or whatnot, but I believe they can go ahead and back your game for $1, and then that'll give them all the updates so they can make sure they get it when you get a Kickstarter live. Is that correct?
It is, and I'll also make sure I put that on my my Facebook page too, and my Instagram. I'll get it out there to everyone.
Well, there you go. Cool beans. And it's from what it sounds like, from what Tayrn said, you heard it here first on Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf. Now, I know you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, Tayrn, but somebody backs your game. When would they anticipate getting the game, do you think?
End of February.
End of February. Cool beans. That's awesome. We don't want to keep you all night, but we really want to thank you for coming on Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf. We really appreciate it, Tayrn.
I appreciate you having me here.
No problem.
Now on to Kickstarter Corner with Princess Leaf, yours truly, and Gamer Leaf.
That's me, I guess. Okay, what games are we talking about this week, Princess Leaf?
We're talking about side effects and random coping chess.
Tell us about side effects.
Use drugs and therapy to treat your side effect in this beautifully illustrated card game for the 2 to 8 players.
Yeah, 2 to 8 players by Pillbox Games. And they end, when do they end?
They end next Thursday,
which is
December 7th.
Yeah, so that's when they end. Go ahead and back them on the Kickstarter. They're way overfunded. They're at they're $51,500 out of $12,000 goal. And then we've also got
Random Coping Chess.
What can you tell us about that one?
Add an element of storytelling and reveal to chess, making it accessible and engaging in new ways.
Did they get their goal?
They got past it.
Oh, good. They're overfunded. And, yeah, they have till...
till next Wednesday, which is December 6th.
Oh, okay. You sounded like you knew that pretty good. Why did you know that so good? December 6th, next Wednesday.
Because it's my day.
Your day? Your day of what? Your birthday?
No.
Tell us.
Activity days.
Activity days? What's that?
Cookie exchange.
Cookie exchange. That's something we do at our church. So that's cool. Yeah, so go ahead and we'll check those both out at the Kickstarters, and you can have some really fun games. Beat your friends at chess, or actually make chess more interesting.
Or your dad, who's 38.
I don't know who she's talking about.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.